Welcome to the Bassatron 3000. I'm your host, Nick Can't Catch a Fish Zitsu Piston, coming at you from the Pacific Northwest, where we're better than you, and we know it. Where the bass are big, the stakes are high, and the anglers are smelling like a tackle box after a 3-day bender. Not good. Definitely not good. But on a real note, welcome back to the Two More Cast News. This week, we're looking at the top fish finishers and the fishing insights from the recent bass tournaments from across the Northwest. This will include events from the Northwest Bass Club, American Bass Association Washington West, the Columbia River Bassmasters, and the Idaho Bassmasters. Good times, man. It's a good tournament. It's a good weekend. Good crowds. Good good turnouts. My bad. We're gonna start this off with the Northwest Bass Tournament, who've had their event at the Potholes Reservoir. It's 2 weekends in a row for the Potholes Reservoir, man. Good stuff. It's usually always a good time there. Potholes is definitely renowned for our bass fishing out there. This is the first tournament of the year and delivered an electrifying day of competition, with anglers battling it out on one of the West's premier bass fisheries. Known for its exceptional largemouth and smallmouth bass populations, Potholes lived up to its reputation as a bass fishing gem. Ranked ninth in the western U.S. by Bassmaster magazine, the reservoir's diverse habitat, featuring flooded willows, sand dunes, rocky islands, and riprap along the O'Sullivan Dam, set the stage for a thrilling event. Crazy dog. We need no interruptions from you. None. Well, the top five teams would steal the show. The tournament saw fierce competition with the top five teams showcasing impressive catches and strategic prowess. And here's how they stacked up. Tyler Smith and Dan Jensen claimed first place with a total weight of 21 pounds. Across the five fish, they earned themselves 100 points for the Angler of the Year standings for the Pacific Northwest Bass. And they're all included a big fish weighing at 6.9 pounds. They got a bonus of $467 for that fish. Again, 21 pounds is setting a pretty high bar for the season. Austin Sandman and Ashton Payne took second with 19.5 pounds from a five fish. They earned themselves 99 points for the AOI standing. And their bag featured a 4.6-pound big bass. And they would walk away with a $511. And their year to date is 19.5 pounds. Melly Williams and Sean Menderman secured third place with 19.3 pounds across five fish. And they would earn themselves 98 points for this tournament. And their big fish weighed at 511. That's giant. These are 5-pound fish pre-spawn. But Wade Wilkins and Darren Wilkins finished fourth with 19.5 pounds, with five fish earning 97 points. And their big fish tipped the scales at 4.5 pounds. Dude, not a bad day at all. And Ricky Hamilton and J.R. Clark around the top five with 17.98 pounds, just off the 18-pound mark. And their big fish weighed 4.98, just off the 5-pound mark. What a day for those guys, man. But Potholes, man, is a fishing haven for sure. Like the Potholes Reservoir proved why it's a top destination for bass anglers. Largemouth bass, they thrive in this reservoir, man. It's submerged with willows, sandy dunes. You got use spinner baits, soft plastics, topwater lures. The springtime go-tos, that's for sure. And anglers have reported 9-pound largemouth catches, a testament to the fishery's potential. Smallmouth, meanwhile, favor the rocky islands, the dam riprap, offering fast-paced action. Some competitors hooked over 20 smallmouth in an hour during the tournament. Austin Sandman's winning strategy. This is what he had to say coming up here in a second. But second place finisher Austin Sandman shared insights to his team's success, emphasizing a straightforward power fishing approach. He said, I was fishing shallow. So shallow I didn't have my graphs on. No live scope, just power fishing. We caught well over 50 fish all day, Sandman said. He revealed a key discovery from the prior weekend's Washington Bass Federation tournament. He said, I figured out last weekend during the CBBC tournament that I had an area where big males and big females are pushing to start staging, getting ready to spawn. So I ran to that area and had our whole bag in the first 45 minutes. That is wild, dudes. That's springtime. That's how it goes, though. Hit or miss, man. But Salmon and Payne didn't stop there. We kept hunting, he noted, explaining the conditions that drew the fish. The water was 55 degrees where I was, and that is why the fish were there. Drawing on past victory, Salmon added, I took the same approach that I took when I won the TBF Big Bass Tournament 2 years in a row. That's crazy. What an accomplishment there. So they just keep it simple and went fishing. What a strategy to have for sure. Then a bright future for Potholes tournaments with 333.6 fish weighed and a total weight of 931 pounds across the event. The tournament highlighted Pothole Reservoir's thriving bass population. The average weight per fish was 2.7 pounds, just under the 3-pound mark, and the average weight per team was over 10 pounds, reflecting the fishery's health and the angler's skill as the 2025 Northwest bass season continues. Potholes remains a must visit for bass enthusiasts, promising more epic battles on the water. Now we're going to move on to the American Bass Association Washington West Tournament. This took place on Lake Sammamish, Washington on March 29th. Lake Sammamish is pretty cool too. It's a fun place. We're going from the east side to the west side now too. But their tournament launched the 25 season with an exciting day one event at Lake Sammamish. This also happened on March 29th as well. And Lake Sammamish is known for the thriving bass fishery, provided the perfect backdrop for anglers to showcase their skills with top teams delivering impressive catches in a competitive field. The top 5 teams dominated day one. The tournament featured 7 teams, but the top 5 stood out with their hauls, racking up points and setting the tone for the season. And here's how they performed. Kelly Gaines and Alex Engelhart took the lead with a total weight of 22 pounds. Across 5 fish, they would earn themselves 100 points for the season. And their bag also included a 5-pound big bass, man. Wow. That was their biggest bass of the day, right? 5 pounds. That's a good size, man. Brian Walker and Frankie Van Gelder claimed second place with 19 pounds from the 5 fish. They earned themselves 99 points. Their biggest fish was 5.13 pounds, and that was the biggest bass of the tournament. And they won by 1/100th of an ounce. And Greg Johnson and John Cooper finished third with 19 pounds across 5 fish, earning 98 points. And their big fish was 5 pounds. Quentin and Matthew Sanford landed fourth with 17.4 pounds with 5 fish. They had no additional bonuses, but their consistent catch kept them in the top tier. And Adam Gablehouse and Tony LaFranco rounded out the top 5 with 16.11 pounds across 5 fish. Their big fish weighed at 4.4 pounds, contributing to a solid day one performance. This was only a one-day tournament as well. But Lake Sammamish, man, a bass fishing jewel located just east of Seattle. Lake Sammamish spans 4,897 acres and is a renowned fishery in Washington State. I mean, I think most people should probably fish there if you haven't already. It's definitely on the west side, though, but its population of both largemouth and smallmouth bass is healthy. They got quite a bit of fish. The average is 58 feet deep, maximum depth of 105. Diverse habitats, including flats, docks, and deeper channels. Spring is a prime time for bass fishing here, as the fish transition from winter patterns to pre-spawn staging, often holding in 10 to 30 feet of water early in the day before moving to a shallower as temperature rises. The lake's water temperature during the tournament hovered around 50 degrees, so ideal for active bass. Alex Engelhart's winning tactics first place finisher, Alex Engelhart shared the strategy that led his team to victory. The conditions were calm and cloudy in the morning. Midday, the wind picked up and the sun started to come out. The water temp was right around 50 degrees, Engelhart explained. We focused primarily on deeper water in the morning, chasing the smallmouth. That worked out well for us as we had around 19 pounds by 9:30 a.m. Once we had a solid bag of smallmouth, we shifted our focus to largemouth and started fishing shallower. That's crazy, dude. By 9:30 and 19 pounds. The fish were scattered all over the place. We fished a lot of flats and docks. Most of my fish were caught throwing a jig. It's by far my favorite bait to throw this time of year. That's crazy too, because we've been hearing a lot about spinner baits and bladed jigs. Now having actually just a jig, but this event saw 28 fish weighed for a total of 101 pounds, with all fish released, reflecting a 100% catch and release rate. The average fish weight here was 3.6 pounds, while the average weight per team was 14 pounds, with 5 teams achieving a full limit of 5 fish each. The strong numbers underscore Lake Sammamish's reputation as a top bass fishery. As the American Bass Association Washington West Series continues, anglers will look to build on the momentum, with Lake Sammamish setting a high bar for the season ahead. Yeah, that was a crazy one, man. Lake Sammamish is pretty cool. It's definitely worth the look at. The Columbia River Bassmasters at Celilo Pool and on the Columbia River on March 29th. It was an exciting club tournament, drawing anglers to the Columbia River's renowned bass fishery. With pre-spawn conditions in full swing, the event highlighted the skill and adaptability of the top teams who navigated changing water levels to secure impressive catches. The top 5 teams lead the pack. The tournament featured 12 teams, with the top 5 delivering standout performances. Dave Osborne and Berkeley Osborne claimed first place with a total weight of 18.18 pounds, earning a well-deserved victory and a dominant performance, winning by over 2 pounds. Ed Chin and Roger Emmert secured second place with 15.6 pounds, showcasing a strong performance in the pre-spawn conditions. John Bile and Steve B took third with 15.4 pounds, earning the Big Fish honors with 4.2 pound bass. Pre-spawn fatty that highlighted the quality of the fish in Salilo Pool. Ed Hodges and Ian Sussens finished fourth with 15 pounds, maintaining a competitive edge in the tight field. Frank Ingram and Leroy Fields rounded out the top five with 14.7 pounds, proving their consistency on the challenging fishery. First place finisher Berkeley Osborne shared the approach that led to their victory. My dad and I had a really good pre-fish the weekend prior to the tournament. We were only out there for a few hours and had roughly 16 pounds without working any of our spots over. We were pretty stoked for this tournament since the pre-spawn is where we shine during the year. Osborne said, our game plan coming into this tournament was to fish slow. We were able to catch a few big ones on a jig. We stuck to slow fishing the entire day. We did have to switch it up a little bit because the water level has been dropping so much. We weren't able to fish all of our spots because of how much water they've been moving out of there. We made a change later in the morning to gamble on a spot we pre-fished but didn't do very good on the weekend prior in the past. However, that's what gave us first place. Last but certainly not least, we have the Idaho Bassmasters. They fished on Brownlee Reservoir on March 30th of 2025 and delivered a competitive day of bass fishing on one of Idaho's premier fisheries. Anglers battled it out for the top honors with the winning team showcasing a strong mix of smallmouth bass in pre-spawn conditions. Yeah, we're definitely in pre-spawn in the Northwest. It's interesting times too, but the top five teams shine in a tight race. The tournament featured 10 teams with the top five pulling ahead through skill and strategy. Here's how they finished. Craig Hammett claimed first place with a final weight of 13.4 pounds. After a five out of five fish were smallmouths. His big bag included a 3.5 pound big fish, and they secured the top spot, fishing by himself in a team tournament too. And Gary Pardine and Jason Pardine took second with 13.3 pounds, also posting a 5 out of 5 smallmouth limit. Their big fish weighed 3 pounds, matching their subtotal and final weight. Cody Brixey and Andy Lambrecht secured third with 13.3 pounds from a 5 out of 5 smallmouth limit as well. And their big fish came in at 2.8 pounds. Not bad at all, man. But Jim Davis and Jason Bosque finished fourth with 13.3 pounds, again with a 5 out of 5 smallmouth limit. Their big fish weighed 3.14 pounds, keeping them competitive. Elvis Karyak and Wyatt Bronson rounded out the top five with 12.6 pounds from a 5.5 smallmouth limit. Their big fish tipped the scales at 4.2 pounds, the largest of the tournament, but their overall weight kept them in fifth. And then Brownlee Reservoir is a smallmouth hotspot, man. It's located on the Snake River along the Idaho-Oregon border. It's a 57-mile-long impound known for its exceptional smallmouth bass fishing. It spans 11,000 acres at full pool. The reservoir offers a mix of rocky shorelines, steep drop-off, and submerged structure, making it a smallmouth paradise, man. Hard surfaces. The smallmouth bass moved into pre-spawn patterns, often staging in 10 to 20 feet of water near rocky points and gravel banks. Anglers typically target them with jigs, drop shot rigs, and crankbaits, focusing on areas with current breaks and warmer water. Brownlee smallmouth can grow large, fish into the 3 to 5 pound range, like those seen in the tournament, are common, with some exceeding 6 pounds. The reservoir also supports largemouth bass, crappie, and catfish, but smallmouth dominate the competitive scene in the early spring. A strong showing at Brownlee. And the Idaho Bassmaster Club tournament highlighted Brownlee's Reservoir's reputation as a smallmouth stronghold, with all top five teams posting 5 smallmouth limits. And not one largemouth was recorded. The big fish of the day was a 4.2 pounder caught by Elvis Karek and Wyatt Bronson, underscored the quality of the fishery, with weights tightly clustered, less than a pound separating first and fourth place. The event showcased competitive nature of Brownlee's bass fishing. As the season progressed, Brownlee Reservoir will likely remain a top destination for anglers chasing smallmouth now and forever in the Pacific Northwest, bro. And that's a wrap, dude. This edition of the Two More Cast News, bringing you the best from tournaments hosted by the Northwest Bass Club, the American Bass Association, Washington West, Columbia River Bassmasters, and the Idaho Bassmasters. And yeah, that's it for this one. Like, subscribe. It'll get better as it goes on. My throat's been kind of dry for weeks. As far as messing names up, sorry. It's not on purpose, man. Hooked on Fonks just did not work for me. I'm trying. I am. for sure. I don't even know how to say Salilo Pool. I've never even heard of that place before, but that is what it is. Yeah, like, subscribe, follow. That's gonna be it for this one. Later.